Hello, everyone. Hello. Hello. It is I, Trooper SJP, and this is the Academic Foxhole. How are y'all doing? What are you doing? What is going on? Hey, PH. Hey, PH. You were playing Masks, I think it was, the other day, at like 1 in the morning, my time, which was probably something, was like, what, 6 in the morning your time? Hey, your PhD got, hey, Kulon, your PhD got cited twice? That's amazing. In what context was it cited? Citations are so spicy, everyone. My fingernails are too long. I'm worried about this. Hey, everybody. Eating pizza in a bit. Oh, pizza. 6 a.m. for me, and I have another Masks game in 45 minutes. Ooh, I have a question. So is this game a West Coast game? Like, is it a West Coast game that starts at 10 o'clock at night for the West Coasters? Because it's, hey, Control Freak. Because it's, that's kind of late for the East Coast, too. So, like, where is this game settled? Like, where is its home? Cited for their recent research has shown this thing. Kulon. There's a scholar whose name is... You know what I need? I need something over here. My desk needs to be cleaned, by the way. My desk, you cannot see it, because you cannot see the actual desk part, but the desk has got way too much stuff on it right now, and all that too much stuff is not ideal. I don't like it. My desk is looking cluttered. And there are things in my life that can be cluttered, but my streaming desk is not one of those things, because it doesn't need to actually have things on it except for props for streams, is all I'm trying to say. All I'm saying. It's very late for them. The others always complain about it. So I would guess it's not the best time zone for the others either. Huh. It just feels like it's maybe not the, like, that's just a, you know, I'm just saying, that seems like a challenging time zone. Just seems like a challenging time zone. I mean, on the one hand, it is on a Friday, so there's at least that, you know? That's at least a positive. How do you find out that people used your writing unless someone tells you to your face? Well, Ice Bunny, that's where your research skills come into play. There are lots of ways to figure out if people are using your writing. Often you can do a search for your name on Google Scholar. There are citation indexes. So I would say you might want to check with your research librarian to talk to, I assume you have a research librarian at your university. So talk to your research librarian about how to figure out if you've been cited, because it's a thing that, you know, I mean, and also, like, yeah, there are citation indexes that sort of track this, especially in the sciences. I don't particularly know them off the top of my head because they don't track humanities citations at all, so they're not as useful for me. But certainly in the sciences, citation indexes are a thing. But also you can just do, you know, Google Scholar searches for your name, and that will bring it up for you. But talk to your research librarian. My character ended up walking away from the team crying with a broken hand. He's not going to join the team next time unless they come find him and do some comfort support. Very dramatic, but that was a bit intense. That sounds super intense. Very few things have written about what my PhD covers, so it comes up in a Google Scholar. The game music is loud if you're planning to play. Oh, yes. I'm gonna try something. I've got a button. Thank you. The game music's up. Atomica! Right, yeah, so I've got this thing where I theoretically should be able to mute things. I wonder, let me see. I don't think that does anything. I don't think mute alerts does anything, but I can certainly mute audio with a button. No one used my scribblings other than maybe kindling. Yeah, oh god. So I wish I could get this to go all gone with like a nice fade, but I was going to tell Kulan something. Kulan, there's a guy named, sorry. I have been up for 2 hours, but that is not a long enough time for me to sort of be awake yet. Randall Collins, and he wrote a book called The Sociology of Philosophy. And what he's a sociologist, and what he did is he studied basically philosophy as a field. He he went to conferences, he sort of looked at basically how does an academic field work sociologically. And he talked about the importance of citations. Sorry, I'm noodling. Yeah, anyway, it was really interesting, right? Because think about the power and the importance of citations in academia to give you what he calls intellectual energy. And so that if you have intellectual energy, that helps sustain you in what is kind of a brutal field. And so it talks about the importance of citations. It's really interesting. And the ways in which the conversation becomes really important. Maybe someday they get that beaten into my thick skull. Get what beaten into your thick skull, Ice Bunny? Which part? So yeah, no, it's and I find it very sort of really fascinating to think about the importance of the conversation, right? Of citations in the conversation in a scholar's life. So let's Crit Twitch. I'm getting a host from Crit Twitch, but I'm not. Oh, you know what? Maybe it did work. Maybe it didn't. Where did my alert go? Like I saw it, but I didn't see it show up. What's up with that? Come on. Oh, I do. No, it's fine. Don't even worry about it. I haven't started playing yet, Critwitch, but I didn't hear the music, and so that's weird for me. Because I've got two different settings for my alerts. Moopin! Hello, hugs, thank you. I've got two different settings for my alerts, and I've got the quiet. Yeah, see, that's really weird. No, that's weird to me. Hey, what's going on? Hey, Moopin. Yeah, no, so I'm seeing the hosts, but I'm not getting... Why is that? I realize that I should be, at this moment, playing the banjo, but see, I have two different alert box settings. I've got okay, so okay, I didn't spell it right. Hold on. I've got two different alert settings. I got the quiet one for when I'm doing RPGs, so that I don't get music running around when I am doing an RPG, and then I've got my regular one for the regular stream, but I switched it last night. Like last night I did switch it to go back to the regular one, so that's weird. How to do kind of an okay academic papers, and maybe I have to accept them a better essayist. Well, Ice Bunny, I think one of the things is that you don't want to do good academic papers. It's very hard to do good academic papers if you don't want to. If you fundamentally feel like academic papers are not good and valuable because they're not the style you want to write, you're not going to write them well. I see this all the time with my students who, I have students who say things like, academic writing is stupid, and why would I ever write that way? I want to write so that my grandmother can read it. As if your grandmother cannot read academic writings, because some of them can. And if you fundamentally don't value academic writing and think it's not good, you're not going to be good at it. right? Because you're never going to want to really do it. You're not going to, if you don't enjoy reading it, if you don't think it's useful or valuable, then you're not, you know, then you're not going to write it well. You have to actually want to, you have to actually sort of find value in, come on, Streamlabs. You have to find value in it. And if you don't find value in it, you're not gonna be able to write it. That would be my, yeah, no, go to dashboard. We're just gonna check our alert box. Hey, alert box, how are you doing? Let's see. Yeah, that's got it, it's fine. Manage themes, what theme are we on? No, our default theme is certainly active. It's not the other one. So that's weird. Yeah, I'm telling you, default theme is the active theme. So I should be getting stuff. And here's the thing. Not everybody has to do academic writing, but if you're in an academic class, then kind of you need to do academic writing. So you just have to think about it. Like, do you actually... Yeah, I don't even know, because it should be there. You know, like, I feel like my hello alerts. Let me see. Alerts box. What are you doing? Alerts. I did not break the stream. I didn't do it. Hey, alerts, how are you doing? Here. Ah, I'm back. Yeah. No, I was trying to check my, yeah, I don't, oh, I don't know. I might have, you know, it was, am I getting bit alerts? That was a bit, wasn't it? And I am not seeing, hey, Javai. Yeah, no, my hosts are being weird, and I don't know why that is. I didn't break the stream. Yeah, no, we're gonna have to figure out what's going on with that. Why is it being weird? Come on, people, don't be weird. Why? Settings? What's going on? Yeah. No, I'm gonna have to go and figure this out later and figure out why my alerts are not doing what, oh, hey, hold on. Hey. Oh, hey, this is interesting. I just noticed that my alerts are muted, and I don't know why. That's very strange to me, and I cannot By the way, Tripper, digging the unshaven look. Definitely getting. Oh no, actually, I am shaven. See, like I'm all cleaned up. I'm all cleaned up. My lines are good. I shaved yesterday, as a matter of fact. Got myself all cleaned up on the neck, and so, you know, I'm all shaven up. I mean, I have a beard, but I've had a beard for ages. I haven't not had a beard. It's been a long time since I've not had a beard, actually. When was the last time I didn't have a beard? What? Yeah, but I'm totally out of blue. I have to re-bleach. I threw a $1.69 and it didn't pop up. See, yeah, something weird's going on. I'm seeing a mute. Something is muted, and I've got to figure out how to unmute it, and that makes me unhappy. Levi says, I'm incapable of being anything but weird. Trust me, I spent way too long trying not to be. Hey, being weird is awesome. Almost out of blue, it's true. Last Superstore, a character that had a beard for 4 sessions now shaved it. It was weird. Yeah. Okay. Now I suspect that I think that it's now live. I mean, I don't know if that's actually true, but I feel like it might be okay. I mean, I think so. I'm looking at my Streamlabs program, and nope. Off stream, sometime tonight at about 2 in the morning, I'm going to be working this out. Atomica says, I contemplate dyeing my beard. My boss is like 90 and think he's going to freak out. Why is your boss 90? Why? That's terrible. Hello, Origami Shuriken. So, okay, so here's what's up. I'm going to play the banjo. Caveats. It is, this week has been sort of insane and I've not been able to practice as much as I want to. So I'm out of practice. I didn't get to play yesterday. So I'm gonna play and it's gonna be bad. Like, I just want you to know that it's gonna be bad. That's all. But I did promise I was gonna play every week. And then I'm gonna do it. They work till they die. You know, why do they do that? Well, no one's gonna retire. So this is, I'm gonna play the song and it's gonna be bad. We're just gonna accept that. That's all. That's it. That's it. So this is Past the Point of Rescue by Hal Ketchum. And I probably can't even remember the chord progression. So we're just gonna deal with it, right? No, I'm out of tune. Give me a second. That's not right. I was gonna play it, but I was like, no, wait. I think my D string is off. Pardon me. I can't play it if my D string is off because then it's gonna be bad and I'm not gonna like it. So as we were saying, because the ones who, yeah, see, it's not right. What are you doing? Sorry, I usually tune off camera, but... Because the ones who build the company don't trust the next generation and changes are scary. Nice. Seriously? Change my one weakness. Oh, what happened, Banjo? What happened? Some people do the same thing with all their time for 30 years and they don't know what else to do, so they do it another 30. Some people come to identify with their work, right? They think they are their work, and so then they can't leave it. And if they retire, they end up sort of falling apart. And I think some jobs are more like that than others. Like, I'll tell you what, professors never retire. Professors sit there and they keep working until they're like in their 80s, which, you know, it's great and all, but the problem is it's really hard because our job market's awful, and when people don't retire, that means there are no new jobs for young people. So younger people sort of get their PhDs and they can't go anywhere. Yeah, my banjo's been lonely. All right, I feel like this is better. I work with one of the grandsons. He's convinced he won't control the company until he's 60 or 70, and that is probably true. That is probably true. That's all I'm saying. This. Last night I dreamed you were back again, larger than life again, holding me tight again, placing those same kisses on my brow, sweeter than ever now. Lord, I remember how for kissing. Do you know how much you're missing? No, you don't, but I do. refuse to fly. All I can hear is your song haunting me. Can't get the melody out of my head, you see. Distractions are amusing. Do you know how much you're losing? No, you don't. But I do. But I do. And I wonder if I'm past the point of rescue. Is no word from you at all the best that you can do? Never meant to push or shove you. Do you know how much I love you? No, you don't. But I do. I swore I'd never fall like this again. Fools like me never win. Came to my knees again. Can't close the door on the likelihood things might be just as good. Always believe they would. Gotta let your love provide me. Baby, do you think it might be? No, you don't. But I do. But I do. And I wonder if I'm past the point of rescue. Is no word from you at all the best that you can do? Never meant to push or shove you. Baby, do you know how much I love you? No, you don't. But I do. And but I do. And I wonder if I'm past the point of rescue. Is no word from you at all the best that you can do? Never meant to push or shove you. Do you know how much I love you? No, you don't. But I do. I know you don't. But I do. Oh, I know you don't. But I do. Woo. Thank you, thank you. Change my one weakness. Banjo's the real star. It's true. The banjo's the star of the stream. It's not me. It's the banjo. That's what happened to my brother. He won a scholarship for flower retail, bag full of ideas, and turned nothing into reality because my parents are still involved. I really, you know, I wish I could figure out. You know what? I wonder if I have an idea. Thanks, Atomica. I love that song. This song, it's one of my favorites. It's one of these songs that I really, really love. And I just love that part, right, when it goes, days like a slow train trickle by. Even the words that I write refuse to fly. Like, I think I love that line. I think it's so good. I love that so much. I love it. Now, hey, Be Right. Hello, Trooper. Be Right UK, how are you doing? You said hello to me. So, yeah, I just have to, oh, please, share a band with me. Put it in Media Musings. I want everyone to hear it. I want to figure out why my alerts are not going. It's vexing me, I will tell you what. My brother's fluffy cat collapsed, interrupting PAGC with a medical emergency, and now we're decompressing before, oh, God. Oh, she passed. I am so sorry, Krellin. Krellin, I am so sorry. That is awful. How is your brother doing? How are you doing? Ooh, how old was the cat? Ooh, I'm so sorry for your loss. That is awful. I mean, cats, for so many people, I'm putting my banjo away. For so many people, the cat is also like a member of the family, and I'm really sorry for your loss. It's really awful. Yeah. I know that I always take a few seconds to put this away properly, but I don't want my banjo to be put away improperly. Perhaps something happened to it. I'll just snap 2 snaps. Yeah, so Mike and... Oh, she was 8, not old, but she was always unhealthy. Yeah, I'm sorry. That's awful. It's that with Maggie and Rufus. Yeah, I mean, people, there are a lot of people for whom their cats are really they're really their family. People call them fur babies, and some people make fun of that, but for people it is, right? There are people for whom their cats are that important. Yeah. When my chance passes, it's gonna crush me. At least you did get to hear the banjo, and it's one of my favorite songs, actually. I love that song. There's just something so sort of... there's something very passionate about that song, while also having a kind of a yearning melancholy about it that I quite like. That is a thing that... I do like some yearning. There's a song that I love so very much. I wonder if I could actually find chords for it and then actually play it. It's one of my favorite songs, and I've never thought about playing it on the banjo because it's such a not a banjo song, but I don't care. Maybe I can. By the way, I'm just secretly doing my my wrist exercises while we're here. So what I wanted, look, I really don't know why my alerts are not going right now. I'm going to have to just figure it out later, probably, at a time. It was great, and now I want to go and play guitar. Oh, you've got 2 hours of work left. Boo! But when you get home, play the guitar when you get home, because you should. No. Here's the thing, Krellin. I did re-enable them, and I just checked, and they are re-enabled from Streamlabs, but somehow it didn't come through, and that is very strange for me, because I will totally sing you the Earwood song anyway. Are you kidding? Of course I will. Yeah, so I don't know what that was, because I totally re-enabled them, right? I disabled them, and right after the stream was over, I re-enabled them because I was like, I don't want to forget, and I was really mindful and thoughtful about it, and I didn't forget. So something strange is going on with that, and I'm going to Earwigs in Hay, the anime. So yeah, I don't know what that is. No, it's something odd, because the thing is, I've done it before and it has been fine, but something is clearly happening and strange. I think it's because I have a button that's supposed to mute the audio alerts, and I pressed it, and I wonder if that might be one of the problems that it's somehow doing its thing. On the album, they said I'd love to see a banjo take on Run the Wire. Ooh. All right. So anyway, look, I have to take off these headphones. I'm going to sing you a song. But what I will tell you is, I also, by the way, do not think that I'm not going to sing the song. It's just that right now I'm actually doing my wrist exercises, so I'm vamping a little bit. Like, I'm just doing a little bit of a vamp until I can finish the exercises, and then I'm just going to jump into it, because I cannot actually sing and do my wrist exercises at the same time, because I have to sort of keep count of how many exercises I'm doing. And while I can talk to you and sort of basically keep a basic count of how many exercises I'm doing, I mean, I end up doing too many exercises anyway, but I can't actually sing and keep count, because that will just throw me off completely. That is just a thing that I should let you know. Wait, why is it? Hold on. It looks like, so this is interesting. It looks like I've got a couple of dropped frames, but according to Stream Health, I've got excellent bitrate without any drops. So that's interesting to me. I don't know what that's about. The worst frames to drop your glasses. PH, that is so true. Don't like it. Don't want to drop any of my glasses frames. It's the worst. Okay, so here's the thing about PH. I'm going to just point out something about Paladin Hulk. Paladin Hulk will just drop the most excellent puns out of nowhere, and I appreciate that. That's all I'm saying. I'm gonna just, in case I'm just doing this one there. Yeah, no, so it looks like a little bit of drop frame, not too much. It's your one skill. I feel like it's not your one skill, PH. I feel like you have other skills other than excellent puns. That's what I feel. So, let me sing for you. It does seem stable. I'm not seeing any new ones. So, let me tell you. Airway in, hey. Oh, I should probably wait until I can snap so I can keep time. I'm good at eating candy too. I am excellent at eating candy. I'm really good at it. I'm such a champ at eating candy. When people say, who can eat candy? And I was like, it's me. I can do it. All right, so Airway in, hey, the anime. No, wait. I'm gonna go full on megaphone today because since the stream is being weird, yeah, here's the thing, Streamlabs just will randomly restart and I don't even know what it's doing. I don't know why it's doing what it's doing. I'm gonna, I do not approve of whatever weirdness you've got going on, Streamlabs. I want you to know it. I do not approve. All right. Just pull that out like that. Oh yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm telling you, Crit Twitch. Halloween is my jam. You see, the thing is, actually, Halloween is not exactly my jam because I find that with Halloween, I don't get the candies necessarily I want. I'm not gonna do it, you know what I mean? But very often it's not, sometimes it's okay. You can get good sales, but I got, All right. Airway and hey, the anime. Airway and hey, the anime. Evoyat galeat way xtut galeang wayo. Airway and hey, the anime. Ide ice skays are ani say. Old man the adiation pray uyare who three of us stay on way on rayo. Ewe ever to eat red lands lay of red brands lay tay day. And when we see the Anley or we'll look at the eye in the eye. We're in the money. We've got a lot of what it takes to get along. I'm just gonna, and now I know that Critwitch is thinking, why do you have a megaphone just right down here so that at any moment you can bust out a megaphone? I think it's because at any moment you should be able to bust out a megaphone. I feel like that is a true statement. Who does not want to be able to have a megaphone busted out at any moment? At any moment. Moopin, by the way, says, PH is full of so much community love that it bleeds forth from every stream they're in, and that is true. That is true. Moopin. Oh, they're hugs. Oh, they're Moopin hugs. I'm loving all the Moopin hugs happening in chat right now. That makes me so I'm like, oh, yay, hugs. Ice Buddy says, I think I can get more candy down than you, Trooper. I am not in overeating training, but I should be able to. People always underestimate me. People underestimate me, is what I'm trying to tell you. Some people are still giving out nerds, and that is not okay. It is a oh, I like nerds. Depends on the nerds. I really like green apple and watermelon nerds. Hey, I can tell you, I can have some just full-on sugar with food coloring. Yeah, I guess your soap candy isn't typically handed out to trick-or-treaters. No, my delicious soap candy isn't, and it's more like potpourri candy than soap candy. Rissa. It's pretty self-explanatory. I get 20 plus kids at the door. Yeah. Is Halloween big in Denmark? Or here's the question. Is Halloween big in Denmark? And if it is, was it ported, was the style you do it ported from the US? Or were you always doing it that way? Because I know in Germany, they didn't really do, at least in Bavaria, they didn't really do Halloween. Not like the United States, they had other things, but they didn't really have Halloween. So, I think, right? not really. I've learned to accept most streamer things at this point. Wait, what? Crit witch? I'm glad that you did, because I'm just saying sometimes, you know, sometimes just like, oh, hey, how you doing? What? The concept of everyone walking around disguised at not knocking on strangers' doors, often with minimal nose provision for younger ones, creeps me out. So I have an issue with Halloween from that. I still like Halloween, though. Halloween isn't big in Sweden, at least. Right. It's the end of daylight savings time in Europe tonight, so we're prepared for a confusing week until you catch up. Oh, yeah. Sorry about that. I just don't, you know, come on, daylight savings time. Why we gotta do that? Why we gotta do that? We don't need that, right? Come on. Yeah, so I feel like American style, this is about like global capitalism, right? I feel like American style Halloween is just not what people did overseas so much. And then global capitalists are like, we can sell candy overseas, let's get them to do it. Levi says, I just got my overalls for my Jason costume yesterday. Nice! PH, oh god, my brain just came up with the actual worst Halloween costume, Ice Agent. Yeah, that would be bad. That would be a terrible, yeah. And Atomic says the unsupervised part sort of fell away. Too many helicopter parents. It's interesting because, you know, children were just more unsupervised when I was a kid. And that wasn't a problem. You know what I mean? Like, because we didn't like wander blocks away. Like you could like, you know, and parents would usually like sit on the porch, you know, and like we would just sort of like go from house to house in our neighborhood. It wasn't very far. Like we didn't go for blocks. We were just like around. And it was like, you know, it was cool. By the way, for Halloween when I was growing up, we made lanterns out of turnips. Never heard of pumpkins for that much until later. Well, you know, that makes sense, of course, because pumpkins are a New World crop. So I know that in the UK it was turnips because you didn't have pumpkins because they're from the New World. So like that particular tradition would have been a turnip tradition. And I will tell you, scary faces on turnips are scary. I've seen some of those turnip faces and they're amazing and scary and so creepy, and I kind of love them. Some people will do faces out of apples and the apples will shrivel and then they'll like old people and they're amazing. Tivoli has Halloween and fall break, so it has a bit of a general fall, and the kids in my AOA can knock at the doors that are decorated, but kids don't do Fastelavn. I don't know Fastelavn. The problems weren't reporting nationally was the difference. I went to a Halloween get together last night, got a pumpkin covered suit and a fox mask with a working mouth, and that sounds amazing, Atomica. By the way, my Halloween tradition is that I offer to all of you, watch over the garden wall this week. Okay, all right, I will find it. Turnip lanterns are sticky and a pest to clean up. That's fascinating in Danish. Huh. Yeah, I feel like these things are, I mean, again, so many things, global capitalism, man. So many holidays we have are just, you know what they are. You know what they are. So guess what? So last night I did my solo RPG, Lost, with, you know, where I had my miner's helmet. And I couldn't help but think about Night in the Woods as I was donning my miner's helmet, because of course I did. And a little bit of Tunnels and Trolls, which I want to experiment a little bit more with. Okay. Over the garden wall. I'm writing it down. Over the garden wall. Over the garden wall. I need to go and, yeah, I've got things I need to do. In the future. In Sweden, Halloween is still kind of merged with All Hallows Eve in some ways. Halloween being the more American one, and All Hallows Eve being for visiting graves and paying respect and stuff, yeah. Also on slightly different days, All Hallows Eve being on the 1st of November, if I recall correctly. So a lot of people, especially older people, aren't sure on the actual date for Halloween, just that it is around the month shift sometime. I was thinking about this, and I'll come back to it. Krellin says, share your age and a thing you can't do. I'm 42 and I can't survive under capitalism. Though you've been in Bayern, they do that. So no, actually in Bavaria we did something different. We didn't do Halloween in the same way. We did Fasching, we did other things, but it wasn't American style Halloween at all. There were like, you know, Hexennacht and things like that. Like there were other kinds of spooky things, but Hexennacht, it was a, hold on, let me see. I don't know if you saw the message I put in Discord, but I like the idea of the solo RPG, but couldn't watch because reasons. Oh, that's okay. Here's the thing. Oh, Carnival. Yeah, but Carnival's not Halloween, you know? Here's the thing, Control Freak. I'm gonna actually edit. I've the VOD's up, but I'm gonna edit down the stream into two. I'm gonna cut it in half because there are two halves of the stream. There is the first half with Lost, which was like, you know, maybe an hour, and then there's the second half where we do Tunnels and Trolls, and I'm gonna edit those. I'm gonna edit the two streams into like two separate ones, so you can just get the Lost one, or you can just have the Tunnels and Trolls, and I'm gonna put those up on YouTube, so you can watch that one all by itself. Yes, but also Atomica, put the song in Discord. This way it can actually, in Medium using, so I can then listen to it and not lose the link. Yeah, no, I'm gonna totally put that up there, and I'm really, so hold on. I think it was Hexennacht? Is that what they called it? Is that what they called it? Or Bavaria? Let me see. No, that's April's 30th. Yeah, so in Bavaria they have Hexennacht, but that's April the, that's, when is it? Wait, yeah, that's April 30th. Yeah, so that's April 30th. Yeah, we always called it Hexennacht when I was in Bavaria, also known as Walpurgisnacht, but we called it Hexennacht. So yeah, that was a little bit different though. There's some weird things. There's some weird things in Atomica. Make sure you put it in Discord as well, because I want to be able to. I want to make sure that I can not lose the link and not lose it forever, because you know that makes me sad. Copy link location. Boom boom. Okay. Oh. This is one of those Liberty Mutual car insurance ones where they're doing the classical music. Yeah. Yes, maybe yes. No, I don't want to see. No thanks. No. I don't want to deal with it. No. Oh, that's different. Sorry, that was an ad. In Sweden, Halloween comes from All Hallows Evening because it's the night before All Hallows Day. Yes. In Sweden, I would argue that the traditional time for walking around dressed up, asking for candy, is Easter, technically, I guess. Dressing up in a specific way, they're not. Yeah, right, there's that whole, like, Three Kings Day. In Germany, you, like, dress up as the Three Kings, and that would happen. So that was clearly a thing. No, the kids here do Halloween, but don't run around begging for candy on Carnival. We have Guy Fawkes Bonfire Night coming up November 5th, too. Oh, good. Yeah, it's interesting how that, like, on Hexennacht, right? So, Witch's Night. There was a tradition where if men were wearing ties, women could walk up and cut the tie with their scissors, and then they could have sex with that guy. Sometimes they would just cut their tie, but you know, I mean, don't ask me what all that is about. Like, I don't even know. So I really enjoyed the solo RPG. If I can find more solo RPGs that I think will be useful and interesting, then I will certainly do them. So, you know, I'm like trying to mix it up, see what's going on, see what we can do with that business. Levi Ton several sides. Oh, Weiberfest. Yeah, Weiberfastnacht. Weiberfestnacht. What day is Weiberfest? Let me see. When is Weiberfestnacht? February 20th. That's the one. Weiberfastnacht is the day where women would. Hello. It's going well. Yeah, it's Weiberfastnacht in Germany, which is February 20th, is when women run around cutting off men's ties. That is the day that happens. So yeah, there are a lot of exciting holidays in Bavaria that, you know, happen. Ironically, it separated foiling up. Yes, and now many of us would be rooting for God. Hey, Brian, 11223344556677888. No, 99. I've been on such a music kick on Twitch. I think you're the only one who I don't get to as senior DJ. Oh, that's fine. So Walpurgisnacht is the night when Madoka dies. So I was thinking about. So here, I'm going to tell you a quick story. Then we're going to play Horizon Zero Dawn, probably, maybe. So, quick story. Side note: I have to leave at 2 because I've got to MC for 4 hours. I've got to stand outside for 4 hours MCing this big music festival we have at, during homecoming, Parents Day weekend. It's Parents Day weekend at my university, and the music department hosts this sort of big event, and it is because I'm a good MC. I will be MCing for the next 4 hours, and I feel like I'm going to have to go and eat some food at some point in time. Oh man, think of the RP, that poor fairy, but that's okay. We're gonna get it. So here's the story I want to tell you. Wait, Javai says, I remember Guy Fawkes night from when I lived in Scotland. We were already halfway through to rooting Guy before this mess. I was in Germany, right? Bavaria. This is important to note that I was in Bavaria. And no, you don't know, Atomica, it might happen. So I was in Bavaria, and here's something you need to know. So Germany, I believe, has more holidays than any of the other countries. So then let's go to the next thing. How do holidays work in Germany? The holidays you get depend on the state you're in. If you're in a Protestant state, you get Protestant holidays. If you're in a Catholic state, you get Catholic holidays. Bavaria is a Catholic. Bavaria, I believe, gets both Protestant and Catholic holidays, so it gets both. So the state of Bavaria has more holidays than the other states of Germany. Augsburg, the city that I lived in, has one extra holiday that is a specific holiday to Augsburg, which is the Augsburger Friedenstag, which is the day that they ended the war between the Catholics and the Protestants, and that was the peace treaty was signed in Augsburg. So Augsburg gets one more holiday than the rest of Bavaria, which gets more holidays than the rest of Germany, which gets more holidays than the rest of everybody else. So there were a lot of holidays in where I lived. So anyway, one day we decide to go to, I need to make sure, I need my live dashboard up, pardon me. Yeah, Streamlabs is being really weird to me right now, so I feel like there's a Streamlabs problem going on. Anyway, because it keeps restarting. And I was like, what is that? Anyway, so let me tell you what happened, because this is hilarious, I thought. So, they have a week more off than Protestant parts of the country. It is true, right? So, and then Augsburg gets one extra one. So, we decide to go to a nightclub one of these days, because I'm in my 20s. So we take the train down to Munich, we go to the nightclub, we go to the discotheque. We walk in, and we get there, it's like Saturday night, you know what I mean? It's a Saturday night. We head to the club, we get in the club, the music's going, and it's like, we get there like at around 11-ish, because that's what you do. And we're there around 11-ish, and nobody's dancing, but it's still kind of early. So, that's fine. The Walloons, the French part in Belgium, now have to have holidays. I used to work with a team based there. Oh, interesting. Oh, that's interesting. So it hits midnight, and the music just starts bumping. Like, the music is so good, it's great. Like, the music is like, it's now midnight, and like, it's around midnight when the music gets really, really good. And the music is delicious and amazing, and I'm like, this is great, but nobody's dancing. And I'm like, okay, it's past midnight now. People should definitely be dancing. Like, this is the moment when we are in the club and we're gonna be dancing. But nobody's dancing. I thought it was so weird. So, and I leaned over to my friends and I was like, why is nobody dancing? Like, I realized that Germans like to lean up against the corner smoking Gauloise cigarettes and being too cool to dance. But like, it's certainly dancing time. So one of my friends was like, that is pretty weird. Hold on a second. So she goes off to the bartender. She talks to the bartender. She comes back and she tells me, she says, oh, sorry. And I was like, what's up? She says, it's Sunday now, and today is Busenbetag, and Busenbetag is a particular. It's one of the penitent holidays. There are a couple of penitent holidays, and now please note this is in the 90s. I don't know if it's the same way now in Germany and Bavaria. It's not. It certainly would not have been that way in like Hamburg or anything, but it was that way in Bavaria. But there are these particular Catholic holidays where you're not allowed to dance because you're supposed to be penitent and thinking about like your sins or sorrow or whatnot. And so on those holidays, you're not allowed to dance. So it turns out that this was one of those non-dancing holidays. So we'd all gone to the nightclub, and everybody was in the nightclub drinking and smoking, because it's Germany, so everybody's smoking like chain smoking like crazy. But nobody was dancing because it was a no dancing holiday. I didn't even, and I was like, what is this? Like, what? I didn't even know. I didn't even understand. I was like, I didn't. And of course they asked me like, well, don't you have no dancing holidays in the United States? And I was like, no, we don't. Like, we're like hyper religious, but also we don't care. I should have introduced them to Footloose. Good old Christian glorification of pain and suffering and boredom and all that. Yep. I did. I got footloosed. That's the kind of clubbing we need in this world. Ones where you introspect. Right? Because here's the thing, right? You have to imagine this, right? Because I want to put you in this space. Ice Bunny probably knows it. Jer will know it. Chrome will know it. Here's the thing. It was the 90s and it was in Germany. So the club was all like, what is love? Baby, don't hurt me no more. Oh, woo. Right? You know, it was all that business. And like it was like, the music was like pounding, and you're like, like no, there's no limits. Right? It was like great, like Euro disco in the 90s was brilliant, but nobody was dancing. And I was like, what is this? I was so sad. All right, I will see you, PH. Have a good time. I will talk to you later. Oh my God, that is a German holiday, but you were lucky. Long Friday, everything is closed, and Busenbetag Day was not a proper holiday. Yeah, we weren't allowed to dance, though. Our religion's for judging others, not ourselves. So, yeah, Levi says, so it was like a middle school dance. Yes, it was. Yes, it was like a middle school dance. That's exactly what it was like. It was like a middle school dance where everyone was standing, except the difference is that in middle school, everyone's standing around being awkward, whereas in Germany, everybody's standing around being cool smoking. That's the difference. Was no one drunk enough to forget or ignore that? Like, no, it was amazing. Nobody danced, and it was so weird. Now is the time on Sprockets that we don't dance. Oh, sorry, that was too much dancing. Oh, so they made it a work day. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, because I will tell you, but here's the thing. I was told that Busenbetag was not a no dancing holiday. Well, but also, I think it was Busenbetag was on a Sunday, which is not a work day anyway, because of work hour laws. Oh, I will see you later, Mupin. Mupin's leaving because he's afraid I'm going to play a video game. I know it. Being other people's idea of cool is pretty awkward. That is true. That is true. Gets out Switch and slaps Trooper's feet. No dance! Whoosh, no! Crit Twitch. Yeah, but so that's the thing. It was a Sunday anyway, right? And Sunday's like a non-working day. I mean, when I lived in Germany, I know that they expanded the work hours some. Well, more about church influence on governments. I mean, we have, like, Bavaria is super Catholic. But when Mupin has a Halloween party, I'm bringing them mead and weird pizza. Ooh, pizza! Weird pizza. I want that. So I just want you to know that when I go off to this thing, I'm gonna put on a nice sport coat, and I'm gonna have my hat, and I'm gonna MC. Moops, have a great one. Go, be free. Have a good Halloween party. I love the foxhole. The foxhole's the best. This is all I'm going to tell you. I was going to tell you something else. There was something I was going to tell you. The Protestant church is not better, but they just have fewer holidays. That's all. They just have fewer holidays. But what I was going to tell you was, oh yeah. So like when I lived in Germany, they did expand it, but when I lived in Germany, they had very strict work hours, right? So, and I'm not, like, please remember, I'm an American. This is like, I'm a little American having this experience. But in Germany, stores had to close at 6 o'clock during the week, and then 2 o'clock on Saturdays, and they could not be open on Sundays. So, you know, everything shut down at 6 during the week, 2 o'clock on Saturday, everything was shut on Sunday. And while I was there, they started arguing about wanting to expand store hours it was a huge debate. It went back and forth, and there were a lot of arguments against it, a lot of arguments for it. And when I left, they still hadn't expanded the hours, but then not too long after I left, they did expand work hours so that stores could stay open till 8 o'clock during the week, 4 o'clock on Saturday, but still they'd have to be closed on Sunday. So 10:40. So like, you know, there was like a whole situation where Sundays you're not buying groceries, my friend. You're not buying groceries on Sundays or pants because the store hours, everything was shut down. And being an American, it was so weird because in America, things are open 24/7. Like if I want to buy something, if I want to buy a pair of pants at 3 a.m, I can probably go somewhere and find them. But that was not the case in Germany, and things were always closed. But I wonder what it's like in Germany in 2019. I do wonder about that. It was the same here. Wednesdays were also early closing for staff training. It's changed a lot, but Sundays are still restricted opening for large stores. Yeah, and one of the arguments against, like when they were arguing about expanding the work hours, I said it would make more jobs. It would decrease unemployment, which is probably not true. But the arguments against expanding the store hours were that it was unfair for small businesses because they said that large businesses could afford to open the long hours, but the small businesses couldn't, and it would be unfair competition between large and small businesses was one of the reasons not to expand store hours. And the other reason was that, and this is really interesting, they said, if you expand the store hours to all the time, then people will be forced to work all the time, and we don't want people working all the time. We want people not working on holidays. We want people not working at midnight. We want people at home with their families or hanging out with their friends. We don't want people always at work. And I thought that was really interesting. There's a reason we have Sundays as a thinly U.S. blue law. Yeah, it's true. It is true. So I just thought that was really interesting, this idea that one of the arguments being made was that it's better for society as a whole not to have stores open 24 hours a day and have stores be closed, and that's why that was the argument. But I will say this as a counter argument for the store hours. Do you know what really sucks? When you are a full-time worker and you are single, or if you have a couple where both people in the couple both work, it's really hard to get all your groceries shopping done and all of your stuff done when the stores are only open when you're at work. So like it works really well if you have a stay-at-home partner, but if you are single or both of your people work, those store hours were pretty brutal, is what I would say. It was pretty brutal. Sunday opening in Germany 4 or 6 times a year. Saturday to 8 to 16. Wait. I do not understand what you're saying, Ice Bunny. Sunday opening in Germany 4 or 6 times a year. Saturday 8 to 16, that's 8 to 4 o'clock. Sunday 10 to 12. Oh, they've opened up stores on Sundays now for 2 hours? That's interesting. Monday to Friday, 8 to 18. Yeah, that's right. So open till, 8 in the morning to 6 o'clock at night, Monday through Friday. 8 to 4 on Saturday. And then on the Sunday, the 4 to 6 times a year, 10 to 12. In Sweden nowadays, things can be open whenever, I think, but a lot of stores still close at like 8 to 10, sometimes, I guess. Partly because of tradition, I guess, but also because you get extra pay for working out of normal hours in Sweden, in that business at least. Like after 7 p.m. you get 50% more pay, if I recall correctly. Saturday afternoon, all of Sundays are double pay, I think. Nighttime, I think, is 70% extra or something like that. Yeah, so, you know, flower shops are always allowed to open on Sundays, only flower shops. Atomica says, I work 5 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. I had to leave early to get my transcript last money and lose hours of pay to get my transcript because the school was only open during the week while I worked. Yeah, it's really, I find it very frustrating when businesses are only open during the hours when people are working. Yeah. Rissa says, so true. One of the benefits of me working at home most days is that we can have grocery deliveries during the day as long as I'm not having a training or a meeting. Yeah, and I will tell you, I will say, like, as a single person, I found Germany at the time very frustrating. It was really hard to get food because everything was closed all the time. And I could really see, the thing is, there was a lot of Germany that really encouraged men working and women staying at home. there was a lot of Germany, for all of its progressiveness, that really encouraged that particular family structure. And that was very frustrating if that was not the family structure you were living in. Yeah, Javai, I can totally see that keeping a store open 24/7 would be really expensive. Mm-hmm. Javai, I really want to invite and introduce you to my friend who studies Swedish folk music and dance. He's really cool. Maybe one of these days I'll get him to come on my stream and chat with me. And I can do that. If you have a kid, you can stay home for 3 years. It is true. And here's what's interesting about that. That maternity leave policy. When I was in Germany, I saw that maternity leave policy, which people think is very progressive, right? That if you get a kid, if you have a kid, you can stay home for 3 years and come back to your job, and everyone thinks that's very progressive. But one of the things that I noticed is that it was used to not promote women, right? People would just not promote women to positions of authority in companies because they'd say, well, they're just going to get pregnant anyway. So it was used to, this thing that is meant to be progressive was used for sexist ends. And, you know, we used to joke about a town in Yorkshire that it was the kind of place where the restaurants would close at lunchtime. Okay, be right. First off, any kid, can I buy one off the street? So be right. Can I tell you, we have this whole slew of restaurant types in the US that are basically breakfast places that close at 2. A lot of places, there are a lot of these sort of breakfast places that close at 2 o'clock. And that makes me very, very unhappy because I love breakfast and I want breakfast at 6 o'clock sometimes. Is it for any parent or specifically the mother of the child that can get the time off? When I was in Germany, there were 2 different kinds of leaves. Any parent could get 1 year off with pay. And I know that Bob Evans, I know many of my friends used to meet up there for breakfast. Maybe, but all these like usually small places. But the 3-year thing, you could take 3 years and get your job back, but you wouldn't get paid in year 2 and 3, right? So the first year you'd get paid, but year 2 and 3 you wouldn't get paid, but you can come back and get your job. And the thing is that I think men might have been able to get the 3 years. I don't know. The men could certainly get the 1 year off with pay. I don't know if men could get the 3 years off, but even if they could, they never took it. So it was assumed that men would not take the 3 years. I don't know if they could. If they couldn't, then they couldn't. If they could, they didn't take it. So what would happen is that men would not take that leave, but women would, and they would then use that to punish women. And in Denmark, you must work full time after 1/2 to max 1 year at home, and now they want to force the dads to stay at home. Well, the thing is, they probably should force the dads to stay at home, to be honest, because when you can take it or you can't take it, and men don't take it and women do take it, or people will assume women will take it and men won't. What ends up happening is like this. What happened in Germany? They just would use that as an excuse to not hire women or not promote women, even if those women were not going to have children. So I feel like it would probably be a good thing if, if both parents took leave. Now, of course, what happens if you are not biologically related to that child? Like, I feel like there's still some things that we probably have to work out to figure out how to be, how to work for non-traditional family units would be what I'm trying to say, because like not all family units are traditional, and there's got to be some kind of a way to not discriminate against family units that are non-traditional. Is all I'm gonna say. So here's where we're at. We're here. Let's do like one little thing. Let's go here. We're gonna go find those hunters, and let's just like go there and see what they're up to. I just think that's what we do. We just, we're gonna find those stupid hunters and chat with them. That's my thought. Also, I didn't die, so that was good. That was a positive thing. We have a decent maternity leave policy at my company, but it's wildly different for U.S. employees versus UK versus other locations. The UK, you expect the women not to come back for a year, but they also have periodic check-in meetings with their manager. In the US, 3 months would be a lot without adding PTO. Men are getting 30 days paternity leave now, though. Yeah, and actually, there are a lot of places in the US where women don't get any maternity leave, and they just have to come right back to work with no break at all. Like, they might get 2 weeks, right, because they were in the hospital, but yeah. I know in Sweden they're trying to incentivize the dads to take some of the parental leave, like splitting it 50-50 between the parents. Pretty sure it isn't forced, but you might get a bit more or something. I'm not sure. I just know they're trying to make parents split the time. And I really think that splitting the time is a good idea. I think that if you split the time, I just think it's better. There's a thing over there that I should probably look up, but we don't have time because, you know, of how our life is going. So we're going to do this. And also, I actually think that part of men not taking leave is part of toxic masculinity, right? That there are men, I think, who would really like to take leave, who really, really would like to take paternal leave. Like my brother-in-law. Hey, look! Hey, everybody! Look! It's Yellowstone. Remember, we're in Yellowstone National Park. This is Old Yeller. Gang, this is Old Yeller. Not Old Yeller. Old, yeah, right? Old Yeller? You know, this is the famous geyser. Old Faithful, thank you. Old Faithful, not Old Yeller. Old Yeller's the dog that died. This is Old Faithful. We found Old Faithful. Yeah. So my where's my cursor? My brother-in-law did it, and that was really great. And he really, you know, because he worked for I Win. So he worked. Thank you, Tomica. But he worked on it, and it was really good. Like, it was really great for him to stay at home, and I think he got some crap for it from his male colleagues who were like, "Why you want to stay home, taking paternity leave? What's wrong with you?" Blah 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 blah. Like, some people gave him hassle, but he's very secure in his masculinity. He's like, I'm gonna spend time with my kids. It was really good. And being in California, Ice Bunny says, but they should decide for how long, because I know a couple where the hubby is the mama and stays at home, and the wife is working a full-time job. Yeah, and it really should be okay. It should be okay for men to be the primary caretakers of children. But, you know, patriarchy. But would Alloy stay at home with her child or leave it with the clone crush? Oh, I don't think she'd stay at home. Alloy would totally not. Better for the parents, better for the child, probably better for the employees. I think that's super true. Staying at home and taking their kid as a dad is borderline being home babysitting, I guess, in their mind. Well, they just thought, like, they didn't think that's not what men do, right? Don't forget he's a music prop and not a lit prop. Old Yeller, dog. Go ahead, fly. People refer to the dad taking care of their children as baby. It's just the worst, right? Trooper, I just want you to know that you got Baby Don't Hurt Me, Suck My Head Out. Oh! You're welcome, Crit Twitch. I'm glad that I could do that for you because... Oh, hey, guess what? Guess what I just learned? I learned that stepping in Old Faithful hurts and that it's bad and that maybe you shouldn't do it. I just learned that. That's what I learned, everybody. Here, watch. See, that's bad. Doesn't like it. Don't do it. All right. Oh, wait. Maybe that's Old Faithful over there. Maybe this one isn't Old Faithful. Maybe this is just a generic one. And maybe that's Old Faithful over there. As a single parent, can I always appreciate young dads? Me too. So I actually think, everybody, that might be Old Faithful. I think that's Old Faithful, maybe. We should check it out. And this is going to be a little bit tricky, I think. This one. If I ever got the chance, I'd give up work and be a full-time dad, but likelihood of that is around high end of 0%. Yeah, it's also really hard because it's increasingly difficult for anyone to be a stay-at-home parent. right? In our day and age. I'm gonna shoot that. I'm gonna just shoot that. It'll be fine. Probably hurts more, so Ellie definitely would jump right in. It's true. Just like let's just jump in. Oops, missed that one. We're gonna try to kill this thing as best we can. And we did. I feel super badass right now, shooting things from super far away. Oh, hey, guess what? Somebody's trying to kill me right now.
Hey, she's starting without us. Let's get down there, flaming skulls.
Oh, apparently, sorry.
Flame or fight, that is not our name.
Maybe we should table this argument until after the hunt?
Sorry. Hi. Woo. We're in a fight. We're in a fight, everybody.
Oh, thought you had me, huh?
All right, we're just give me a second. I found my posse, and it's full of people trying to murder me, so that's cool. Where are we? Apparently we started without her, but that's cool. I'm going to kill this thing. Oh, you're a big one, aren't you? It's cool. All right. I think we...
No contact.
Oh, there's more of them. Oh, there's another one. It's cool. Don't worry about it. Ghost Kitty. My sister-in-law...
Fire when you see the red of their eye.
Oh, hey. You know what? There are a number of these little ghost kitties. I'm kind of just going to go in there and do a little bit of... Okay, do we have any more? No, we're good. That, you know, sometimes having friends helps. Can you imagine how creepy it must feel to be a video game character? Ow, that really hurt. Wait, why am I doing it again? I feel like Aloy probably has a really high pain threshold, a high pain tolerance maybe. Yeah, it might be somewhat disconcerting. My sister-in-law is, because she has health problems, because her coworkers at my brother are a pain. Let's see. Oh, come on, we've all killed a kid so cruelly on accident that we've... Oh, I have. I certainly have been like, oops, sorry, that was not... Oh, oops. Because sometimes that's not what I meant. Sometimes I didn't mean to go and, like, murderize them. It was an accident. Sometimes, like, I think it's particularly bad when you don't expect it, where it's like, it's not even like a real fight. You're like, oh, hey, this is not a real fight, we're fine. And then you just sort of, you know, jump over there and you're like, oh, I'll just walk in, this is like no big deal. And then you just die spectacularly and tragically. All right, is there anything I need to look into right now? Yeah, sort of like buckwheat. Although, but here's the difference. Buckwheat's different because I knew buckwheat was gonna die, right? Like that was like, the minute we decided to make buckwheat a fairy, and I knew this was so Buffalo Castle is only for fighters. I have a couple of, I have another solo adventure, this one called Elven Lords, which I'm really interested in. What's in here?
The scrapes.
Oh. Hey. So there's another solo adventure called Elven Lords, which is not for fighters only. So you could actually play a mage or something else. And I feel like our buckwheat could probably have been a would have done better in the Elven Lord solo adventure, but we might actually do that. I might actually once I make the character sheet. What is this? Oh, there's a supply crate. Once I make the character sheet for, I think this is actually Old Faithful. Once I make the character sheet for Tunnels and Trolls, then I think that I will go and sort of try to do a solo adventure with Elven Lords and see how we can do it. But yeah, he was, Buckwheat was super telegraphed. I feel like this is the actual Old Faithful, right?
Nothing gets my blood running like a hot.
Kulan's like, I had no part of that decision. That was not me. We're gonna do. I think we're gonna do Elven Lords. I've got to read the actual full deluxe rules and get all the little details. But I think that we're gonna do that. I want to make the
part down.
You know.
One more and you'll have what you need to pay off Bergrand.
Starting to feel real, you know. I'm starting to believe we're really gonna get out
Kulan's
of
like,
here.
I had no part in the decision.
Honestly, I wasn't sure we'd survive a week without Nakoni. But here we are.
Who's Coney?
Oh.
Nakoni was... She was a friend of ours. She challenged the chieftain for control of the Werak.
She didn't make it.
No. If you're gonna tell this story, tell it true. She was murdered.
Oh. Oh, okay. Hold on now. Also, here's the thing. It's really interesting because we were talking about min-maxing, and in a lot of old school games, min-maxing is important. Like you really like. It depends. It depends because like with Traveler, it is what it is. But with some of the old school games, you kind of do have to min-max a little bit. You can still RP all over the place, but if you want to survive a second day, sometimes you have to make sure that you can do the thing. Yeah, right. Min-maxing was expected, but that doesn't mean that you can't RP, right? You can still, and especially because you're doing roles that like you just got to do your best, right? It's like a different way of thinking about it. I was thinking about this. It's a different way of sort of conceiving of character creation. I just did a little craft shopping, and now I'm excited for craft. No, the elf suggestion just made me think, well, that's game over right there. No, it's true. It's true. The minute you're like, game over. And so here's the thing that's really interesting to me. And it's about, sorry, just a little brief aside. Something that I think is really interesting, and the reason why we're doing the aside and putting the controller out is because this is like a talking point, and I cannot do two things. So here's what's really fascinating. It's about character creation theory. By the way, everyone, I need to tell you something. One more side note. I'm going to get a really nice, yeah, Volpez. I'm going to get a nice camera because I want to make videos. I want to make some YouTube videos about RPGs and also like identity stuff because I really want to talk about I really want to like sit and like do a good 15-20 minute video thinking about some of these things. I'm doing a cubed aside. So that's the internal aside that I want to make a video where I can actually talk about some of these things. Popping back out, one of the things I want to talk about is thinking about the way that character creation was thought of differently. So for example, GURPS is my fave, right? GURPS is my fave game, love it. But GURPS presaged a number of other sorts of game styles where you come up with a concept of your character first and then you make that character. Right? You're like, in GURPS, what is your concept? And then you use your point buy to build the concept that you want. Like you make your concept. But you know, Kulan, min-maxing is different for each game. Each game there's a different sort of min-max. And in GURPS, I don't necessarily even have to min-max, right? Because it's not how that sort of game works. I want to do a one-on-one gamer vid RP with you. Ooh. I'm going to note that, Atomica. Note it. I'm noting it. Preferably with a bit more structure than your stream chats. Yes, this is true. Yeah, no, I'm going to do like a whole video. But what's interesting about that old school that has sort of, it's gone a little bit out of fashion, the old school where you just sort of roll. And well, there'll be like, you know, citations. So which is so interesting. So like if you want to do Tunnels and Trolls like full on original, you don't even get to choose which of your stats the ability goes in. Like the first one you roll, that's your strength. Your second one, that's your con. Your third one, that's your dex. Your fourth one, that's your speed. You don't even, if you go super old school, you don't even get to choose where you put your stats. But they do give you the ability to sort of place them you want. And it was the same thing with old school D&D. Like the original space was like, you don't get to pick, but then they mixed up for you. I've not been in RPGs much, so it's all kind of nuanced and me suffering newbitis. Oh, Kulan, don't worry. I will take care of you. If you're ever at my table, I would take care of you, because that's the job of the GM. I know some games don't feel like GMs are important anymore, but part of the job of the GM is to like let you know if there's like a more efficient way to make that character, if that is what you want, or if you don't. And then Rissa says, and then you throw out the character and try again, and that is true, because the character creation doesn't take very long. But what's interesting to me, sort of conceptually, is that in that old model where you roll your dice and you get random results and you put those things down, what ends up happening is that the character is an emergent character, right? So like, you don't decide who you want to be first. You roll the dice and then you see what you have, and then that becomes your character. And it's the same way, but even more so with Traveler, where you're like, okay, I have a person, let me roll to see what job they get. Let me roll to see what experiences they had. Let me roll to see what their parents are like. Let me roll to see what happened to them. So there's a way with some of this sort of like random character creation that the character itself, you don't start with an idea of who the character is and then build it. The character is built and then you decide who the character is, right? So that you role play what you get versus what you build. And that's just interesting, and it's not bad. Like, it's not a worse system. Sometimes I want to make the character I want to make and I know exactly who I want them to be and I want to make that. But sometimes there's a great beauty in rolling the dice and then finding out who your character is, and then that becomes a really interesting role-playing challenge. Love that. Levi says, I had players over to my house to make characters individually. I love making characters individually, Levi. So I like to do, like, nowadays I like to do 2 phases where we do one short phase where we just all sort of chat about general concepts together so we can sort of make characters that fit well with each other, and then I'll do individual character creation sessions. Love it. Kulan says, well, who knows? If the Niakros Foundation bid works out, I may well end up at your game table someday. That would be amazing. Atomic says, and trust me, Kulan, GMs will help you. We want you to have a good character so you live long enough to die how we want. Yes. Jer says, I don't know. Old school, you would roll with the GM present and he wouldn't let you throw out that sheet out. Well, we actually would allow you to throw the sheet out. I would always, in my games, they would let you throw the sheet out, but the thing is, there is usually a limit. Like, you can't roll forever. Like, it usually would be like a 1. You could do like a 1. But the problem is with throwing that sheet out is that sometimes you might even get a worse one. Like, the character you make might even be even worse. The one player rolled really poor stats, but he didn't care because he wanted to make a moon druid anyways. So what happened to Nakoni? We're gonna go with a direct question.
What happened? How did you lose Nakoni?
She challenged the chieftain to a hunting competition. Oni could, damn him. He wasn't nearly the hunter Nakoni was. But who comes back to the camp after the trial? Oniku, grinning like a snap maw, crowing, oh, where's little Nakoni?
We tracked Nakoni through the woods. Found her not far from the trailhead.
With her damn neck snapped.
Ooh. I don't want to remember her like that. Sometimes that memory, it's all I can think of. I'm sorry, Tatai. It sounds like she meant a lot to you. To all of you.
Somebody was murdered. We need justice. Moon druids where the shape is made up and the stats don't matter. Atomica says, when I was at my most generous, I would let people roll 3 sets of stats and choose what they like best. Yeah, like in my experience, Atomica, it's like that, right? Usually you could get 1 to 3 rolls. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, it was certainly not 5 or 6. That was too much. But like 1 to 3 would be, but always the GM was always present for those rolls. But like that's about somewhere between 1 and 3 would be about where I was at. I prefer to just use standard array, but everyone wants to roll. Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. Yeah. Volpa says, my last group, since we had a few brand new people, we had everyone roll a full set of stats and pick the best set and had the whole party use those numbers. Oh, that's interesting. Well, that's interesting. I think there was some kind of a bidding system. As long as I don't finish rolling my stats with numbers like 7, I think I'd be okay. Oh, 7 can be interesting. 7 can be... So, I mean, there are a couple things, Kulan. In old school, you're rolling 3d6, and so getting a 7 is not unlikely. In the new school, you roll 4d6 and drop the lowest, so getting a 7 is much harder. Can still happen, but it's much less likely to happen.
Coney challenged
But a
the
7's
chieftain.
okay.
Why?
Onikuk wrapped himself in power and authority the way some people wrap themselves in furs. If you're willing to fawn over him and sing false songs to him, you might get a spot on the best hunts. The Werax split into two. Those willing to lick the bottoms of Oniku's feet, and the rest of us, waiting for things to get better.
Until Nicole.
She was the best and bravest of us. She was the one who took a stand.
And also a 7, and here's the interesting thing, a 7 is a very interesting roleplay choice. Like if you get a 7 in something, you put that 7 in Constitution, then all of a sudden your character becomes really sickly and weak, and perhaps they have like a chronic illness or a limp. Or maybe you put that 7 in Wisdom, and the character is super smart, but like will not step out of the rain, right? There's a way in which that 7 can be really, can sort of guide you to a really interesting character.
Is this why you left Banor? Because of this business with Nakoni and your chieftain?
Onikut knew Nukoni was our mentor, our friend. We couldn't stay.
That final night, we snuck back to camp, packed what we could, and left.
Like cowards.
What are we to Tai? We are Banuk, aren't we? Survive and prevail. That's what we do.
It's not what she did.
Oh, this is rough, everybody. I'm not a fan of standard array personally. A lot less variance in character. Point buy works better for my style. I think I prefer point buy to standard array. Javai says, that was Jer, by the way. Javai says, I've done some random stats like that mostly in Warhammer 40k games, and the GM usually lets have 1 or 2 rerolls for stats or trading stats. You can get additional rerolls for corruption, which is a bad thing you get over the course of the game. Interesting. I've also seen rolling 2d6 plus 6 no matter what 8 is the lowest. Yeah, and I think Levi says, yeah, Jer, yeah, I just like the player starting on even footing, and that's what the whole point of point buy is, right? When you have a point buy, everyone starts on even footing. But again, because my dice rolling is cursed and I hardly ever roll high unless I'm trying to roll low. Kulan, I know it. So here's the interesting thing. One of the things that I think has always been a strength for some people of those sort of old school games like that is that it takes no time to make a character. You can make a character in 5 minutes. You're like, roll 3d6, 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 3d6. Those are my stats. Buy a sword, and I'm done. Right? You would make character creation was so fast. But, you know.
I'm sorry for what you've been through.
When you have point buy,
nice
you
to
can
meet
get analysis paralysis.
Thank you, Aloy.
Look, it doesn't matter, okay? What happened in Banor is buried in Banor. What matters now is what happens in the Sundom. That's where the burning turkeys are gonna make a name for ourselves,
No.
right?
Oh, the burning turkeys? Seriously?
It rolls off the tongue.
Sort of like vomit? So, where to next?
There's a lake just west of here. Seems like a good place to find a snapmaw fang. We'll meet you there.
If you beat us there, just wait by the campfire. We'll be along.
Well, nice. All right. Hey, what do you think that is? Oh, also, I don't think there's a campfire. Did that. This is the next one. I only have 15 minutes. Burning turkeys. Point buy is still even footing in D&D, but allows for characters to choose deeper flaws for greater qualities. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I love, y'all know me. I love a point buy. I do. I love a point buy. The only problem, of course, is that there are people for whom point buy will just make them freeze.
Very cold. I get it.
Sorry, Aloy. Sorry to make you walk through the cold water. There we go. Yeah, but like there are a bunch of folks for whom point buy means that they have a hard time choosing and a hard time deciding what to do. All right, so there's some pigment over there. I'm just going to get it, and then I'm gonna go and kill some things. Ooh, hey, guess what? I'm blind. It's cool. Oh, hey, there's a big one actually now. That's cool. I thought that I thought there were just some like little, you know, like little Rudy Poot Dynamax that I could just ignore. But it turns out there's a big one, but it's cool. It's cool. Don't even worry about it. You know, give me a second. We're gonna do this. It's gonna be fine. I'm gonna kill this thing. Ooh. You know, will you play Untitled Goose Game? Maybe? I'm gonna have to make some choices and some thoughts about my life right now. Like, what am I doing in my life? What is happening? Why is my life happening like this? Can I maybe have it happen less like this? These are all some thoughts that I have right now. Okay. I'm feeling a little bit better about my life right now. I mean, let's not go crazy. I mean, there's still problems in my life. Let's be fair. I feel like I should probably run over here. Run. Because here's the thing. Oops. Let me pick this up. I'm gonna use this big weapon, and I feel like I'm very excited by it. But I don't know if this... Oh! Why is this thing up on my butt? Like, this is not even appropriate. Okay, everybody. Not appropriate. Hey, you know, I just want to share with you all that this thing is trying to kill me. I think we're at a better space. We're gonna be okay. I don't even know what this thing is. But this is a big one. I think we're gonna be okay. I wish I could, Oh, hold on. I've got no ammo. Bad. Gang. Oh. I think I got this. There we go. What was that? A demonic scorcher. Okay. With my RP style, the stats end up mattering so much less than the story. They become a tool for the character, not the character's personality. And I think it depends on the kind of system that you're running. Right? There are systems wherein stats don't matter at all. And actually there are systems where you probably don't even need stats. And there are very few stats. Like I think about something like Lasers and Feelings, where that game is like you just have one stat. The stats just don't matter. That's not what the game is about. But there are games where the stats become a means. The stats are part of the process, right? That you can. And I think in an ideal world, the system will support what you're trying to do. That you shouldn't like. I don't think, for me. I don't think it's great when you have to, when you're trying to work despite the system. I think it's much better when, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oops. I think it's much better when those stats amplify the system and make the system work better, right? That like I mean, I think, yeah, that monster has like a gear thrower and a flamethrower. It's really bad. Those are like, it's like a mine thrower. Kick in the nads. It's crazy. Hershey's candy corn, white chocolate was growing on me. Oh, no, wait. Moose? What? A gift sub? Gift sub to Ice Bunny. Ice Bunny, hey. The stream is getting weird, I think. Wait, I think I'm offline. Wait, do you see me? It got choppy. Yeah. Are you seeing me right now? Okay, you are. Okay, look. This is what's going on right now. I'm going to tell you. I am seeing really weird bitrate. I'm seeing a lot of buffering. I'm seeing some badness right now. But, yeah. No. Hello, second obs. You know, there's something bad happening right now, but it looks like it might be better. Maybe? Okay, sound is fine. I don't know why this is happening. So I think it's probably, you know how it can be sometimes. Guten Tag. Hey. Second obs. Wie geht's? Was machst du denn hier? Hoffentlich es geht ganz okay. Das kann ich schon. Ist ganz okay. Also, muss schon sagen, ja, ich bin live. Also, für die Leute, die hier sind, ich kann schon so ein Deutsch sprechen, gell? Aber ich habe mein Deutsch auf Bayern gelernt. So in Bayern gelernt und dann habe ich so, kann ich schon, wenn ich machen will, kann ich schon so ein bisschen bayerisches Dialekt sprechen. Das ist ganz okay. So just, what I'm just saying, ein bisschen bayerisch, ja schon. Ja, was machen du denn da? Ja, ist ganz okay. So I'm just saying, so I learned German in Bavaria, which is like, again, we got a little bit sketchiness. I learned my German in Bavaria, and Bavaria is like learning your German in the South. Wrong side of the country. What are you talking about? It's like, so like when I speak German, I mean, I can sort of speak High German. Like if I concentrate, I can do it. Like I can. What is this? I can sort of understand her German, so I haven't forgotten it all. I learned my German. Bavaria sounds like a polka song, And I feel like maybe it should be a polka song. By the way, I don't think we hung out in here, did we? Oh no, we did. This is our, I know where we are. Or a second wave ska album. Yeah. So while I can speak German with a bit more of a high German dialect, I did learn it in Bavaria. So I can speak my German with the equivalent of a heavy Southern accent. That is a thing that I can do. Yeah. So, and also like a little bit sort of Swabian German too, like. Ja, hast du mein Mal gesehen? Ja, da sei Mal. And the thing about, I'm going to do a quick save because we're going to clear it up soon because the stream is being weird. You know that, I do know that Hochdeutsch is from the north because that's when the Northerners, the Saupreisen, invaded the South and forced them to speak their language. You know what they say? It's nice to be a price, but it's higher to be a buyer. That's what they say. Well, that's what they say in Bavaria. I don't know if that's what they say everywhere, but that is what they say in Bavaria. I'm gonna note it. Yeah, so all those North Germans on the other side of the white sausage border, the Weißwurstgrenze. Yeah. So yeah, no, I learned, so when I can speak High German. Yeah, otherwise you'd never have the chance to be understood. Yeah, I remember when I was first in Germany, like I hadn't been there very long and I was learning German by speaking to German, and the people that my friends were all basically law students, so their Bavarian was not particularly thick or heavy. So like most of my very good friends spoke light Bavarian. So like my German is not, my German is not normally super heavy Bavarian, because the people that I hung out with didn't have a super heavy Bavarian accent. But I remember, but they did have a light one. But I remember I was sitting on the street one night, like it was like a Friday night or whatever, and some guy comes up to me and he goes like, "Hey du, wann kommt denn nächste Straßenbahn?" And I was like, I have no idea what this man is saying. Like, I have no idea what the man is saying. He's like, "Ja, wann kommt denn nächste Straßenbahn?" And I was like, I don't know what that, I was like, "Wie bitte? Entschuldigen Sie bitte. Was haben Sie gesagt?" But what he said was, no, it's not just a generation thing, Ice Bunny. It's also class. Like I knew people who were young, who had very, very thick Bavarian dialect, but they were working class people, right? So they were working class. So like the working class people I knew, they had very thick Augsburg or Schwäbisch dialect. The people I knew who were middle class and up didn't. So, and it's the same thing. It's the same thing here. Like I'm in the Boston area, and you can hear people with a very thick Boston accent, and they often tend to be working class people. People who tend to be middle and upper class don't tend to have the accent so much. You know, it's a class-based thing very often. But anyway, what he was saying was, "Wann kommt die nächste Straßenbahn?" But instead of saying Straßenbahn, he was like, or Straßenbahn, he'd say like Straßenbahn. And I was like, I have no idea what you're saying. But I learned it, so like now I know. Also, it's really interesting because there's a word in German, nett, which means nice. But in Bavaria, nett, they use nett for nicht, for not. So yeah, das weiß ich nicht. So das weiß ich nicht in High German would be das weiß ich nicht. But they didn't say das weiß ich nicht. They'd say da, ja, ich weiß nicht. So they wouldn't say ich, they'd say I. Instead of weiß, they'd say weiß, so weiß. Weiß would be like weißt du, would be like weiß. And instead of nicht, they'd say net. So ja, weiß, ja, geh mal. Or instead of saying gehen wir, which is like shall we go, they'd say geh mal, which is not gehen wir. So ja, geh mal aus, geh mal irgendwo. Ja, geh mal nicht. Das wollen nicht tun. And okay, there's the problem. Even Germans don't get everything in Bavarian and Frankish, Schwäbisch. It's true, right? This is a thing that actually also Germans, like, there's a lot of German dialects that are not mutually intelligible, which I think is fascinating. And so, yeah, I grew up, I mean, I lived in Germany from the time I was 20 to the time I was 25. So I sort of grew up around some exciting German. Yeah, Rissa, you would have lost, but you would have picked it up sooner or later because it's just. So here's what I thought was really interesting. And so I learned my German mostly through speaking to people. And the problem with learning your German in Bavaria is that my friends a little bit less so, right? But a lot of people that I spoke to in German, sink or swim, my friend, they would, by the way, we're back to a pretty decent frame rate. So that's good. But a lot of the Bavarians I was hanging out with, the Swabians, they wouldn't. So one of the things that's super difficult about German for English speakers is the declination of articles, right? So like you have der, die, and das, which is the, and you would say like der, what is like der Apfel, right? So der rote Apfel, but which case it is, like ich hab der roten Apfel, roter Apfel. Atomic, you should go traveling.
Like out here.
Der roten Apfel. Is that right? No. Der rote Apfel ist schön. Der roten Apfel ist schön. And then ich hab den roten Apfel. And then den roten Apfel is then right accusative. Ich habe den roten Apfel, but der roter Apfel ist schön. And then ich gebe dem roten Apfel, ich gebe den Mann, So here's the thing. There are 4 cases: accusative, dative, genitive, nominative. And there's a different declination for each one. So so it's like der, den, des, der, den, dem, des for masculine, but then for feminine and neuter, there's also declinations for the articles, but then also the adjectives. And then if you're going to do not the definitive article, but the like ein, so like one, so it's also einer, eine, eines, but then there's also declinations for that. Der rote Apfel ist schön. Ich gebe den roten Apfel zu. But so there's all of those, like, there's all of that. But so here's the thing. You can learn that when people use it in speech, but in Bavaria, they wouldn't say der Mann, they'd say der Mann. They wouldn't say, they'd say, like, so it's like everything was da and n. So, Dapfel. So it's like ja, der Apfel, der Mann. And they'd also not use the genitive at all. They wouldn't say des Apfels. They wouldn't say der Apfel des Mannes. They say der Apfel der Mann, right? They would never use the genitive case at all, ever. They'd always go, ja, der Apfel der Mann. Der Mann's, yeah, always. Der Apfel von der Mann. Always. They would never use the genitive, right? So it's really hard for me to learn my grammar in German when my German peoples would not use the grammar. They would just like, yeah. Iceman says, don't ask me about the rules, I do it by ear. The problem is it's hard for you to do it by ear when the people don't use their grammar properly. That's all. Phone call imminent. Might have to mute. Oh, no problem, Kulon, because I have to go. I've got to go and MC a show for the next 4 hours. Rissa says, I've not been to Germany, but I'd like to go. Oh, you should go to Germany. It's beautiful. Go to Bavaria. It's lovely. I've been to the Netherlands and to Ireland. Ooh, I want to go to Ireland. I guess that's why we make fun of them. You should have moved to Hanover. But here's the thing. If I were in Hanover, then I would have been hanging out with Preußen. By the way, for you English speakers, Preußen is sort of the Bavarian way of saying the Preußen, which are the Prussians. No, I'm gonna hang out in Bavaria where they give you really good portions of Spätzle, and the food is delicious, and everyone is friendly. Bavarians are friendly, is what I'm gonna tell you. Just saying. I'm gonna hang out where I can have some good, Kässpätzle and some Schupfnudeln and like some really good Blaukraut and some Weißwurst and some all of that. Oh, Katzelschwarf. All the goodness. I'm just saying, Bavaria's like, well, I'm gonna go play some Schafkopf, a good card game that was very popular in Bavaria. Have a instead of Scott. Oh, whatever, Ice Bunny. Whatever. All right, look, it is 2:04, and I've got to spend the next 4.5 hours doing MC work, so I have to cut the stream short, even though I don't want to. I just want to hang out with you. What age is this type of clothes, Real Jonas Brother? The dress shirt's just like a general dress shirt, no big deal. This particular vest is a collared vest, and collared vests were more popular like 100 years ago. They're still, like, you can still get them, but you know, from like the 1890s to the 1920s and 1930s is when collared vests were really, really popular. And I love collared vests. I think they're super exciting. So this is this is a modern vest though, so it's like actually not an old vest, but it's got a bit of an old flair to it, which I appreciate because I like an old flair. Yeah, and I actually got this on Amazon, and it wasn't super expensive, so I was just like, collared vest, because I wanted something that had a nice, you know, because even if I'm not wearing a sport coat, it still works, and it still looks nice, so and also, not that you care, but this has like a plain back, so you can wear it without a jacket, without it looking kind of weird, which is nice. That reminds me, I think I'm gonna save up to go to a German restaurant. Oh, ooh. Atomica, if you know a really good German restaurant, you should email it to me or put it in the Discord so that I can go there. So, it was short, and next week is going to be rough for me, so I should tell you all. So next week, Wednesday, I'll be on Little Red Dot's channel streaming the penultimate episode of the Purloin Code, so you should all come and see that. But then I will not be streaming Thursday, Friday, or Saturday because I'm at a conference all week, and I thought I might be able to sneak in a Saturday. Well, actually, hold on, wait. I might be able to stream on Saturday. It depends. I might be able to stream on Saturday. If I can stream on Saturday, I'm gonna check. Like, I know I can't stream Thursday night because I've got to be at the conference, but I might be able to stream noon to 3. It depends on if there are any sessions I have to see, or if there's any work I have to do as part of this committee I'm at. So it's possible I might be streaming on Saturday. We will see. I will probably tell you. I will put it on Discord, but I have to just check my schedule, and we'll see how it goes. I mean, think no, but maybe yes. No, it's both the texture, but it's mostly the collar. No Halloween stream conference, but Saturday may happen, maybe. Okay, I gotta go. I've gotta go and like put on my sport coat and my hat, and I printed out my MC stuff, and I gotta go. So, thank you, everybody. I should say, if you want, you can always give me a follow if you haven't followed before, and you can find me on Twitter at Academic Foxhole. You can join our Discord because it's awesome. You can also come to the YouTube where we have the archive of all the shows. And I have a Patreon which goes to fund the RPGs that I run. And that's what I got. So I gotta go, everybody. So take care of yourself. Thank you all for being here. And I will catch you on the flip side. Bye, everybody.